everyone. Welcome to This Day.
Good morning. Today is Thursday, October 17th, and it is National Mulligan Day. So yes, it mostly applies to golf. However, if we make mistakes, we call it a mulligan because we'd like a do-over.
There you go. I'm surprised there's a national day.
Well, there's a national day for everything.
That's true.
Everything.
All right, on our show today, we have Dr. John Hovnesian, and from Harvard Eye Associates, and what he's going to be talking about today is sun damage to your eyes and how you can protect them, and there's these other conditions that can result because of that, because of sun damage or debris in your eyes, or, well, speaking of wind, I'll be talking about that in the weather, wind as well. City of Hope is opening quite soon a whole new building, and it's over here in Irvine, over by the Great Park, and Lisa's going to talk to him about that, new cancer center. From the Social Services Corner, we have Dustin up here today, Dustin Arbuckle. He's going to talk about a fall prevention seminar that's coming up, and all the latest Globe headlines with Erica Ritchie.
All right, we have a few meetings to tell you about today. We have the United Architecture Controls and Standards Committee meeting. That'll be in the Elm Room at 9:30. Then we have the PAC Ad Hoc Committee meeting, which will be at 1:30 in the boardroom. And then we have the Mutual 50 Board meeting at 2 p.m. in the Towers Key Club. All right, so in golf, a mulligan happens when a player gets a second chance to perform a specific move or action. I don't know, I seem to take them all the time. The day offers an opportunity for giving yourself a second chance, or as some people call it, as I mentioned earlier, a do-over. According to the United States Golf Association, 3 different stories explain the origin of the term. The first derives from the name of a Canadian golfer, David Mulligan, a one-time manager at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in New York City who played golf in the 1920s. And then a different etymology gives credit to John Buddy Mulligan, a locker room attendant at Essex Fells Country Club, New Jersey in the 1930s. Another story, according to author Henry Beard, states that the term comes from Thomas Mulligan, a minor Anglo-Irish aristocrat and a passionate golfer who was born in the 1800s. So according to the USGA, the first term achieved widespread use in the 1940s. And now I believe we say take a mulligan just about any time. I wish I had more in tennis and golf. And how about you? Would you like a mulligan today?
Sure,
Ken?
why not?
Don't mess up.
Don't mess up. All right, I already did. I pronounced Dr. Hovnesian's first name.
Oh, you did? Well, you can do it over.
Yes. All right, so there it was. All right, there's my mulligan for the day. Hey, well, you know, I mentioned Dr. Hovnesian is going to be talking about protecting your eyes, the sun, the wind. Well, we got windy conditions today. In this case, it's onshore winds that will come up this afternoon. We had it yesterday as well. So we're going to get some very strong onshore winds in certain areas today. That's why we got it's cooler. We're getting all this onshore stuff, and it's going to be partly cloudy in the morning, or I should say mostly cloudy in the morning, then partly cloudy in the afternoon. Tomorrow, I think we're going to get more of just the fog in the morning. Then as we go forward, particularly as we make our way to Sunday and Monday, unfortunately, those Santa Ana winds are back. And although a red flag warning has not been issued yet, it's a good possibility it will be. Sunday and Monday, expect the offshore winds. Those winds may spill over into Tuesday as well. But look at the difference in the temperatures, and as we get in some areas, you're going to see a 20-degree swing in Southern California from today to Monday. So, you know, for us, looks like about 12, 13-degree swing, but still, that's quite a bit. Let's look around the area today, and the temperatures are all down. It's, you know, nice fall temperatures today. It will clear up as we get towards the afternoon, probably. I think, as I said, cloudy in the morning and then probably partly cloudy in the late afternoon. Those onshore winds will start to come in primarily in the afternoon. As I said yesterday, it was the same way. You know, all of a sudden it got really windy around 3:30, 4 o'clock or so, and then it subsided. All right, we will be back in just a moment.
it's important for you to get your financial house in order. And so it breaks my heart sometimes when I see widows that come in with $100,000, $200,000 to their name, and yet their broker has lost $200,000 or $300,000 in the market when they shouldn't even have been in the market. The most satisfying part that I find in working with retirees is when they come in on their annual reviews and the market has had a bad turn, and we know that we can sit down and look at them and say, you haven't lost any money.
Most real estate agents stick to the 3 Ps of marketing. They place it on the MLS, they put up a sign, and pray that it sells. Laguna Premier Realty takes a different approach to marketing your home. From professional and high-quality photos, to high-definition video, single property websites, and 3D virtual tours. We will make your property stand out and, most importantly, sell. So whether you are looking to list your current home or find your dream home in the Village, Laguna Premier Realty is here to help.
Did you know there are over 400,000 seniors in Orange County today? So where does a senior or family caregiver go for information and resources? You can turn to the Answers Guide, published by the Council on Aging Southern California. Answers is full of articles and resources to help you navigate the aging experience. You can pick up your free copy today at the clubhouse nearest you or at the Social Services Office. The Council on Aging, helping seniors remain healthy, connected, and protected.
If you asked me what I wanted to be when I was a child, I would have told you a princess or an astronaut, maybe even a chef. But things change. I may not have become a princess, but I found someone who treated me like one. I may not have become an astronaut, but I still got to see the world. I may not have become a chef, but you would never leave my house hungry. The Emeritus Institute has kept my love of learning alive. Every day is a new adventure, and the Emeritus classes have made it possible to keep living out my dreams. Sign up today and begin your life's next adventure.
Welcome, Harvard Eye Associates. We have Dr. John Hovhannissian, who I think has been coming on our program for 10 years, maybe?
Let's not talk about how long.
No, I mean that is a good thing.
It's actually, now this month is my 20-year anniversary at Harvard Eye
Wow.
Associates. 20 years. So
Wow.
it wasn't quite since then, but shortly after
Yeah.
that I first made my appearance here, you were a wet behind the ears intern probably.
Yes,
at that time.
and all these years you've had some Harvard Eyes, some great folks on.
We have, the people I get to work with, both the doctors and the staff, I'm the luckiest guy in the world because they're super nice. They love what they do. They love our patients. Have all the right motivations.
Yeah, and you guys are growing again?
We
from
are.
what I understand?
We have a new space we're going to be occupying just down the street, about a block away from where we are, as of the end of the year. That we'll be moving into a much bigger space because we have such wonderful patients. They send us all their friends and relatives, and we grow. We hired 4 doctors this year.
Yeah, well, I
because of
know. We get the WEM on. We had
Yes.
somebody fairly new on the other day.
Yeah,
and,
Dr. Rouhani and
yeah,
Dr. Doot and
yeah,
Dr. Wong
yeah.
just joined us, and Dr. Isabel Choi,
Yeah.
an optometrist who's come on full time. So it's an exciting time. It's wonderful to see young doctors who are really up to date, who share our desire to take good care of patients,
Yeah.
succeed and develop their own following and add something really beautiful to the practice, which is a different kind of expertise than we had before, and that's good
Right.
for everybody.
So let me ask you, you're moving to a new location. Are you going to still be in the old one as well, have 2 offices?
We'll
or
actually
completely
move. It'll
gone?
be one new office.
Okay.
It's designed from the right from the ground up with the patient's experience in mind, and to be a beautiful new with all the latest technology and room for newer technologies as they come along. To offer our patients, and it'll allow our doctors the space they need and the patients the comfort they need in our office to have a really good experience.
So will there be any downtime? Because all that equipment has to be moved over.
It's incredible how fast they can do this when they're
Really?
properly.
Okay.
It'll be over the holidays when things slow down just a little
Okay.
bit, and so as of the first of the year, though, we'll be in the new space. And
All
there'll
right,
an
so you'll be out
announcement.
there with your pickup truck and
Yeah, that's
put the
right. I'll be
equipment
out there.
in.
Yeah, I'll be out there picking up the lasers, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Bubba, move that laser
Yeah.
over here, right? Sure, it doesn't matter if you bang it up, right?
You're right.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
There are very special people who move these kinds of equipment.
Yeah, well, that's great. Congratulations to everyone
Yeah.
over there. that you're
Thank you.
growing.
It's exciting. It's really exciting.
So today we're talking about, we've talked about this before, and really conditions that are a result of sun damage to the eye.
Yeah.
you and I have talked about many times over the years the necessity, the protection of the eyes. You know, we all know to use sunscreen.
Yeah.
But when it comes to your eyes, I'm somebody who's always used sunglasses because my eyes have always been sensitive in that way. I mean,
Yeah.
since I was,
A
you know,
kid,
probably 10 years old.
It's the way you're built.
Yeah.
Like me, you have light-colored eyes. Those of us with light-colored eyes tend to be more sensitive to sunlight because there's not as much pigment to absorb stray light in our eyes. So blue-eyed people don't like bright lights nearly as much as those who have darker colored eyes.
Yeah, and so I've always been using something. But let's talk about this, the sun damage. And you brought a couple slides here with photos of two different conditions, right? And tell us about the first one.
This is one that's got a great name. It's pronounced pterygium. The P is silent, like in pterodactyl.
Okay.
In fact, it comes from the same root word. P-T-E-R-Y means wing. And it looks a little bit, if you look at it, like a wing that's spreading out from the cornea, which is the clear part of the eye that covers the colored part. And that wing of tissue that you see in this picture behind us is very irritating to the eye, and it can clearly affect vision because it's going on to the seeing part of the eye. It distorts the shape, and so it's quite a damaging condition. The closer you live to the equator, the more likely you are to get a pterygium. And so we don't see many of these in Canada.
Yeah, all right.
But here in southern, you know, we see a ton of them in patients who come from Mexico and near the equator, and here in Southern California. A lot of surfers get them, people who like to spend time on the water, because not only is it caused by UV, but by other irritants. And when you're in the salt water, you know, you're being assaulted, excuse the expression, by the water and the sand and other contaminants, by the double reflection from the water surface of sunlight and, of course, from the sun directly. So you get, if you look at anybody who's surfed all their life, almost all of them have some degree of pterygium.
And how does this happen? How does it form? And are you going to notice it in time to get it corrected?
So it forms from the cells, the natural cells of the body that overgrow to protect the tissue. It's meant to be kind of a protective growth, but of course it's harmful. And usually there's a lot of redness and irritation, sensitivity of the eye before it grows to be anything like what you saw on the screen, before it starts to affect vision. It is always better to intervene a little earlier with these rather than a little bit later, because once it affects the central vision, once it's on the cornea, you know, moving toward the middle, we can never take it away and make it like it was never there. There's always going to be a tiny bit of scar tissue, a tiny permanent effect on vision. And so we prefer to get to it. If it's growing and it's irritating and it's on the cornea, it deserves consideration of surgery.
All right, but it can be corrected?
It can, and thankfully the surgery is pretty easy to go through.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about a 5 or maybe at most 10-minute procedure. Painless because patients are sedated, and afterwards, only about 2% of our patients say it's uncomfortable. Most say it's quite comfortable.
Again, sunglasses are going to help with this. Now, of course, if you surf, the other irritants can come in play
Are
as
contributing to it. That's right, and it's hard when you surf. There aren't really good goggles that keep the salt water out of your eyes. They tend to come off. They tend to obstruct your vision a little bit, peripheral vision too. So surfers don't like them. We encourage them to wear them, but they're not great at following through.
Right. Let's look at the other one. And this one is, you see I guess the blood vessels, but it almost looks like, and I don't know if this is something just because of how the photo is, but the yellowness I see there, is that is part of it?
That's typical. Okay. Yeah, so often you'll get yellow. Usually indicates fatty tissue.
Okay.
And what happens anywhere in our skin and anything that's exposed to the sun suffers what we call elastotic damage. There's damage to the elastic tissues of the body. And then other things will come along and replace it. So like scar tissue or fibrous tough tissue or sometimes fatty tissue. So pinguaculum is kind of the same thing as a pterygium, but it's not growing on the colored part of the eye. Okay. And don't ask me why we come up with these confusing names for them, but that's the name.
That's the medical industry, right?
That's right. We'd be out of a job if it were all too simple, wouldn't it? So a pinguaculum also can be raised on the surface of the eye and can cause a lot of irritation. And so we see, most adults who've lived enough had enough birthdays have some pingueculum,
Okay.
and most of them don't bother people. But pinguecula can also cause irritation, and there is a very effective surgery to treat that as well. Again, a short 5-minute procedure, fairly painless, a little bit of redness for a few weeks after surgery, but most people return to normal activities the next day after surgery.
Okay.
So advances in treating these have made it, a problem that shouldn't be a bother for us.
All right. It's interesting how you mentioned it's a fatty tissue, because I looked at that and my first thought, it looks like an egg yolk.
Yes, a little
You know?
bit. Yeah, exactly. And of course, not all of them are yellow like that. Some of them have, a more pinkish, or they look like a pterygium, like the other photo, but maybe not growing on the cornea. They can have a variety of different appearances, but it's almost always on the side, if you will, sort of next to the colored part of the eye. And sometimes it's usually the inner corner, but also the outer corner can be affected. And either way, they can be quite irritating when they occur.
All right. Talking about protecting your eyes just in general, we talked about sunglasses.
Yeah.
Today we're getting onshore winds, and of course in a few days we're going to get those pesky Santa Ana winds.
Yeah.
Protecting your eyes. Now, on a day like this, it's kind of cloudy out. You're not necessarily going to wear sunglasses, but we could get some high, cool winds.
Yeah.
But then, of course, we all know the devastating effect of the hot, dry winds, and
You bet.
certainly if, unfortunately, smoke is mixed in with that as well.
Yeah, you're right. Anything that irritates the eye makes these kinds of problems worse. It makes them more bothersome. If you don't have a pterygium, if you don't have a pingueculum, your eyes can be miserable when the Santa
Right.
Anas blow. And it's not, of course, just the hot, dry air, but you mentioned it. It's whether it's the smoke or the mold or the dust that's
Yeah.
blowing with it. It irritates, and and if you've got dry eyes, for example, there's sometimes you're just going to be miserable no matter what you do.
Right.
And so you need to be prepared with lubricant eye drops and glasses that provide some protection so that you have just a physical barrier, and tough it out.
Yeah. One other thing that I want to mention, because you have talked about this before, protecting your eyes. We have a lot of people here, including myself, who do work in the garden.
Yeah.
And again, on a sunny day, I'm usually out there with sunglasses, so my eyes are protected. But I was thinking about, I think about John Hovhannissian all the time, and I thought, no. What I'm saying is,
When he's having nightmares,
yes,
this is what happens.
is the other day I was, pruning a tree, a rose bush, all this, and in the back of my mind, I'm going, okay, he's telling me, make sure I protect my eyes, because it can be even worse to get a little bit of wood material, something, or a thorn
Ken, that's
in your
not me.
eye.
That's your conscience.
That's my
talking.
conscience, yes.
So
But it has stuck with me,
Yeah, that's good, because some of the worst injuries happen from plant material.
Yeah.
They say vegetable material, if it impacts the eye, is a common cause of fungal infections.
Okay.
And we don't normally think about a fungal infection in the eye, but they're devastating, and they're hard to treat. They take months to eradicate if we can, and they can destroy the vision in a matter of weeks.
Right.
So if you have an injury with plant matter, with any kind of eye injury, it's worth it to see your eye doctor to have a look and get you on the right drops. It's usually just eye drops that will control or stop infection from happening.
Okay.
And protect you.
All right, one more thing, since we're kind of on the subject. People swim year-round.
Yeah.
And, many pools, not necessarily for here, but you go in nowadays, the newer pools are saltwater pools.
Yeah, many of them
And when we were on our vacation up in Alaska, the resort we were at, it was a saltwater pool.
They're so great.
And yeah, it is. You're a little more buoyant. It's cleaner. It certainly
You don't have the
irritated my
smell.
eyes more, but I got goggles.
Yeah.
And how important it is to be wearing goggles when swimming,
It's
whether
vital.
it's chlorine or
It's
salt
vital,
water.
and take out contact lenses is the other
Oh, okay.
lesson. If you wear contact lenses and you're getting in a body of water, you just have to take them out.
Okay.
I swim about 5 days a week. I'm in the pool in Laguna Beach, the community pool, and I never go in any pool without goggles, because even an adequately chlorinated pool can still harbor devastating organisms that can just destroy your eye.
Okay.
One example, and there's been a few news reports lately on it, is an organism called acanthamoeba. It's an amoeba, and it infects the eye. It's exquisitely painful and very, very difficult to treat. What we literally have to put in the eye to treat it is pool cleaner. a chemical called
wow.
PHMB, and if it sounds irritating, you bet it is. But it's
Oh my
necessary
God.
to save the eye.
Yeah.
So you don't want to be getting pool cleaner eye drops
Yeah.
to eradicate. We've unfortunately had to treat a number of these infections over the years, and they just, they can destroy your life by destroying
Wow.
your eyes.
Okay.
So
I didn't.
always wear goggles. Have your kid. My kids know they don't even put a toe in the water without the goggles
Okay.
going on.
Yeah. All right. Very good. We know that's sometimes hard with kids.
It is hard.
Fortunately, with my daughter, she loves goggles. She always has. So,
You gotta be-
And now I'm wearing them.
You got to be
So,
stronger-willed than your grandkids, and
Yeah.
that's tough because
Yes.
they're younger and they have more time on their hands.
Yes, they do. Sir, thank you very much.
It is a
It's
pleasure to see you.
Always good to see you. Always good
you.
advice.
Thank you.
And
It's nice.
say hi to everyone. And then once you
Will
get to your
do.
new facility, do you have it's going to be over the holidays?
It'll be over the
come
holidays.
over there and
we'll send an announcement out
take a
with
little
the address.
tour.
It's just the other side of the hospital, very very close by, right on the bus line for Laguna Woods Village to make us accessible even to those who don't drive their own cars.
Very good. Take care.
Great.
We'll be right back.
Individual care, specialized care. At Harvard Eye Associates, we care about your vision and quality of life. Our trusted doctors provide a wide range of multi-specialty services for the treatment of medical eye conditions, all within one practice. Come join the circle of care at Harvard Eye Associates, where the future of vision is today.
At Freedom Village Assisted Living, we provide loving care and support when your loved one needs it most. We believe in laughing more and caring more. Dining will be an experience, not just a meal. We offer opportunities to create new memories. Your family will feel like they are part of our family as we work toward creating an extraordinary difference in lives worth living. To schedule a tour and complimentary lunch and for more information, please call us at 949-340-8108 or visit our website, freedomvillage.org.
Jewelry Box. It's about trust.
Do you buy gold?
Yes, we do.
Do you buy diamond rings?
We do.
Do you buy watches?
We do.
Do you buy silver?
We do.
Do you buy these?
Yes, we do.
Gold, diamonds, jewelry, or sterling silver. The Jewelry Box of Lake Forest makes it easy to get top dollar for your treasures. No appointment necessary. Simply come in and walk out with money for your valuables.
Whether it's one ring or an entire estate,
We buy it all.
I choose to make friends out of neighbors.
I choose to start a new chapter.
I choose to live an active lifestyle.
Choose to experience the good life at Villa Valencia. Call or visit us today.
Living and learning in Laguna Woods Village is a unique experience. For over 40 years, the Emeritus Institute has provided tuition-free college classes within your community. Join us to experience expert faculty, quality academics, and to make new friends through the Emeritus Institute. New classes start every semester, and you can join nearly any time. Visit our office at Clubhouse 4 or anytime at saddleback.edu/emeritus. Learn, live, and thrive with the Emeritus Institute.
Welcome back. Today I have in studio with me Dr. Wade Smith, who is with the City of Hope. Well, welcome. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So now October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and that is one of your specialties. So before I go into that, tell me a little bit about your background and how you got into this field.
Okay, I'm a medical oncologist. I'm a cancer specialist, and I'm with the City of Hope, Orange County. And my inspiration for medical oncology goes back really to medical school. In medical school, I was influenced by a cancer specialist named Henry Lynch, who was really the first to associate cancer with having a hereditary or familial basis. And so that was a big paradigm change at the time. Also in medical school, a drug called trastuzumab came out, which was breakthrough drug for treating breast cancer. And so that steered me in the direction of treating cancers, solid tumors, primarily with a focus on breast cancer. And so I've taken that expertise to City of Hope, where I'll be part of the first physicians to extend into the Orange County community and becoming part of the team at City of Hope.
Okay, and now currently you are in Fullerton.
Correct.
Right?
Well, I'm in Fountain Valley.
Fountain Valley,
Yes.
sorry.
Yeah.
So you're in Fountain Valley,
Right.
and what kind of facility is there?
Well, we have one of our network expansion cancer centers in Fountain Valley. So we have the infusion center that's within the same building, and we have our team there. And so it's a great central, easily accessible location. Valley parking service, patients can come in, not worry about having to find our space. And so I'm very happy with where we're at right now.
Okay, and let's talk a little bit about breast cancer as a whole. So you're talking about hereditary. So what are some things that people need to be aware of to know whether or not they will get breast cancer?
Well, that's a great question. And this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So this is all about raising awareness. And I think the important takeaways would be obviously the importance of screening. Since the 1970s, we've seen a decrease in the death associated with breast cancer. And that's largely because of screening, as well as advances in medicines and other treatments we give in addition to surgery. But we do recommend that women begin screening. I recommend age 40 and on. And we've seen that through breast cancer screening with use of mammography and other imaging, we're able to decrease the risk of dying of breast cancer. One recently published study showed by up to 60%.
Wow.
So that we encourage. I also encourage women to just be aware of their own bodies. A self-exam once a month. Maybe first of the month while in the shower. And again, just looking for any changes, not necessarily being their own clinician trying to find something, but if just some change is discovered within their own body, women and men, that's reason enough to alert their physician.
Now, we're very familiar with City of Hope and all of the things that they do, I think primarily in Duarte because that's the largest area. But, what you do in Fullerton, Fountain Valley, what you do in Fountain Valley, and then what you will be doing in Newport Beach, what are some of the things that people can look forward to at those facilities as opposed to driving to Duarte?
Well, great question. We already have tens of thousands of City of Hope patients that live in the Orange County area. So it provides easier access to them because, again, we retain continuity with all of our researchers and providers in Duarte. And, we are in the process of incorporating clinical trial access into our extension sites. So the same clinical trials that patients can seek out in Duarte, we are arranging to have available, within the existing clinic sites. As well as we plan on having a clinical research expansion into our new 5 Points campus that will be ready in 2021.
Right. Wow, that soon. I didn't think it was going to be that soon. So you say research. So let's talk a little bit about some of the research that's kind of come about within the last few years.
Right. So I think we've seen a lot in just the area of breast cancer. We don't think of breast cancer as being one disease. There are several subtypes of breast cancer that have their own molecular drivers. And so we now live in an era of precision medicine where research is taking us in the direction of finding out what unique mutation changes happen within the cancer cell, and then from bench to bedside, creating a treatment that can target that specific cancer cell.
Right. So at the cellular level.
Correct.
Is really what I'm hearing. And good thing that City of Hope will have a large facility, like you said, in 2021 at the 5 Points Crown Great Park. And tell me a little bit about, that facility. It went from kind of a smaller facility to a much larger one now, so it's more like a campus. So can you give me an insight as to some of the things that they're going to have?
Well, right. So it's an 11-acre complex, and we're going to have an inpatient facility that'll be the only cancer-dedicated hospital in Orange County, as well as we'll have facilities that will accommodate screening as well as therapy, and we'll also house our clinical research teams that will conduct clinical research, everything from phase 1 trials that incorporate these new targeted drugs in the era of precision medicine, all the way to phase 3 studies looking to enhance the curability of treatments we already have.
Okay, so at the Fountain Valley facility, are you going to be transferring to Newport, or will you operate out of both?
Now we're gonna maintain our network cancer center locations. So we'll have a permanent location in Newport Beach, as well as we are at Fountain Valley right now, and currently taking patients in as we speak.
Perfect.
And the 5-point Great Park expansion will be really what we see as a sister campus to our large Duarte campus.
Okay.
So that will, as I mentioned, house its own internal investigation and clinical trial design.
Well, that's going to be quite a presence for City of Hope. It sounds amazing.
Very exciting.
Now, let's talk a little bit more about breast cancer, since it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. What are some things people can do to help prevent themselves from getting breast cancer?
That's a great question. So what we do know is, for instance, in terms of lifestyle, body weight does play a role. So particularly for postmenopause women, we find that the closer a woman adheres to her ideal body weight, the lower the likelihood of her developing breast cancer is. And for women that have been diagnosed with breast cancer, trying to achieve as close to ideal body weight will also help them in terms of long-term survival. And so, what we encourage is a healthy lifestyle, the same as we talk about for preventing heart disease and stroke prevention. Diet-wise, high fruits and vegetables, fish, olive oil. We discourage processed foods, as a new publication shows. And we also counsel on reducing or eliminating alcohol consumption as being important. And I think overall, as we mentioned, following up with their doctor visits, I think the self-exam for women who are motivated is a great thing to do on a monthly basis.
Talk a little bit about they used to say 50, and now they're saying 40. But it even could go lower than that, because they're finding cases of women having breast cancer in their 30s and 20s.
Sure, in terms of when to start with your screening mammogram. So, as I mentioned with a recent publication in the journal Cancer, women aged 40 to 69 were looked at and were found to have a substantial decrease in their mortality by instituting mammography earlier. And so certainly I, among many others, argue for the age of 40 being the start of screening for the average woman. If a woman has certain high-risk features, certainly if they were to have been diagnosed with a hereditary cancer syndrome or to have other high-risk features within their family history, then in those many patients we can argue even younger than 40.
Wow, okay. And then lastly, when you first hear that you have breast cancer, I mean, I'm sure it's kind of a horrible thought. Do you ever offer a second opinion, or do you ever advise people to get a second opinion?
Yeah, I think a second opinion is a wonderful idea, because it can certainly alleviate a lot of concerns on the part of the patient. And it does kind of reinforce the idea that, having all your ducks in a row early on, eliminates a lot of the second guessing and the what ifs later down the road. And so the way we see it is a second opinion is very helpful to seek a specialist who has a focus in that particular disease, say breast cancer, and thinking of the second opinion consulting oncologist as being part of a team member, working with your primary oncologist to help them coordinate an effective plan going forward.
Okay, and then let's talk about at Fountain Valley. Do you have a team of people that work there? I know you had sent a photo over, so maybe we can show that.
Well, yeah, so I have myself, my wonderful nurse practitioner, and my front office and my medical assistants, and we all have been working together really well. And have been able to, provide a great experience for patients, and we'll be having other specialists join us as well in the areas of breast surgery, preventative medicine, cancer screening, just within the next several months. So, so really looking forward to it.
Great. Well, thank you. And I know we also have another side of how people can get a hold of you. So you've got your phone number on there, which is 949-763-2204, and then you also have a website in which you can go to as well, which would also link to your facility. Would that be correct?
That's right. You can go to cityofhope.org, and you can find our location in Fountain Valley. And we're currently taking in new patients.
And we need to make sure that they say Fountain Valley, not the other one. So excellent. Thank you so much for the information, and good luck on the expansion. A lot of excitement over the next few years.
Very excited.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
And remember, if you want any additional information regarding what we just talked about, you can go to the website that we mentioned, cityofhope.org. We'll be right back.
Hiring a realtor you trust is the first step in selling your home. Selecting an escrow company that can safeguard your money and personal information throughout the transaction is the next step. Escrow Options will guarantee the safety of your personal information and funds from the risks of wire fraud and cyber theft. Choose the escrow company that works for you. Escrow Options Group, protecting consumer assets in escrow since 2005.
Maxi Comfort from Golden is the most comfortable lift recliner in the world. Its patented technology glides smoothly into a variety of positions not found on most recliners. Everyone loves the programmable auto drive control. You can lift and recline, watch TV or sleep, and enjoy the feeling of weightlessness in zero gravity. Made by American workers and backed by the industry's best warranties. Feel relaxed in a Maxi Comfort lift recliner. Contact your local Golden retailer today.
I had been with another hospice for my husband, Ed. After about 2 months, I thought, they're not doing much for me. So I went to the computer and brought up the list of hospices, and there was OC. Their response was immediate. They did everything. They had all their ducks in the row, and that's what I was looking for. It was comforting till the very end. And then at the very end, the last 3 days, it was continuous care, and nobody ever left him.
Well, I'd like to welcome back with us from our social service department, Dustin Arbuckle. And Dustin is a liaison from Memorial Care Saddleback Hospital. And he's always great to have on because he tells us all about great seminars and events that are coming up. And welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Glad to have you back. Yeah. Coming up very soon is something that you've talked about. I know you're passionate about this.
Mm-hmm.
And this is fall prevention. And as we know, when my mom was alive, I can recall, several years before she passed away, having a fall, how it affected her.
Mm-hmm.
And it just is, I've heard, and I don't know how much, I don't know what the percentage is, but it's a very high cause of lifestyle change, and tragically can even result in death. Mm-hmm. We think of a simple fall. Growing up, we fall all the time as kids and all that, but as you get older, it becomes so much more life-threatening, right?
Mm-hmm. It really does. And it's clearly one of the biggest issues that we have in Laguna Woods Village. I've been here since November, coming up on a year, and I think I've seen almost 230 cases for falls.
Wow.
And we go out, we meet with families in their home, and because falls can be so debilitating, it can take your baseline down a little bit with each fall, with each hospital visit. We come in, we try to create a support system by connecting residents with resources, referrals, acting as a bit of a safety net. We want to understand clients' needs and how to benefit them in the future and what they're going to need in the future.
Even just a casual fall as we get older, how much that can affect your lives. And even for me, fortunately, I haven't fallen recently or anything like that. But I just noticed, like, say I'm working out in the garden or around the house, and I might kneel down and hit my knee against something very casually. Well, 20 years ago, I would have been like, okay, wow. And now it might hurt for an hour, that's all it is. But there's a remarkable difference from just 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
Absolutely. And so that's why we created this program, because of that issue. And so for this program, it's got two parts. It's got the exercise class, which we've talked about. It's balance and fall prevention. It's led by Memorial Care Physical Therapy. And we've had excellent feedback about that. And it's really because of the physical therapist who's running it. Her name's Susan Yoakum. Residents love it. The one thing we just ask of residents, we've had a higher attrition rate than we like to see. And there's so many residents who want to be in the class. We just kind of ask that when you sign up for the class, you try to get to all 8 sessions because there's such a high demand for it.
And the next round is coming up, is it January?
Yes, it's coming in January. We're in our 7th week of the first.
Okay, so we'll talk about that as we get, but this is what we want to mainly talk about.
This is why we're here.
Yeah, and this is the event that's coming up, a workshop on October 30th, Tuesday at Clubhouse 7 at 2:30, and Dr. David Law will be there, and I had mentioned to Dustin, you know, he's been on our show throughout the years, several times. I think he was on just recently.
Just last week.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he is somebody that has always been involved in this community and fall prevention in general, right?
Yep, so he will be speaking on the age-friendly health system. So the title of his talk is called What Matters to You Matters to Us.
Yeah.
And that has to do with age-friendly. Age-friendly health, the age-friendly health system it's essentially a care framework.
Okay.
It's a set of best practice interventions that seek to implement the 4 M's. And the 4 M's are what matters most, medication, mentation, and mobility.
Meditation.
No, not meditation, mentation.
Oh,
and that's a common confusion.
What's mentation?
Mentation, you know, it has to do with the prevention of cognitive impairment. So, namely, dementia, depression, delirium.
Okay.
Yep.
And of course, one of the things that can help with is being social in your life, right? When it comes to that part of it. Now, fall prevention, what I think is, you know, we've had people on our program over the years, and of course, what you folks do, and I know social services does, just going out to people's home, even if somebody's, you know, very active, you look around the home and just simple tripping hazards and things like that. So that part of fall prevention is actually pretty easy to take care of. But of course, as you get a little bit older, or maybe you need a walking device or something like that, you become more unsure of yourself, and that can result in falling as well.
Yep, you're right, and that's one of the 3 key things, evidence-based interventions that residents can do themselves. So home safety evaluations. We can do that ourselves, social services. We also have educational guides where you can kind of walk through your house. You know, are there rugs that might cause tripping? Do you have a grab bar in the shower?
Yeah.
That's one of the key things. Yeah.
As far as, and I want to make sure I have this right, because it's something I've heard about, that if someone has one fall, and as they get through that, and you know, they get over it, so they get healed from that, they actually get to the point where they become so nervous of just walking that it can result in another fall because they're almost over careful. Am I right?
That's an excellent point. Yep, and that's another thing we try to encourage is starting a PT exercise routine because you know, that fear of falling, it makes us isolate ourselves. Something I learned from Dr. Law recently is that falls are actually a symptom. And that symptom is of immobility. Okay. So it's that fear of falling causes that immobility. It's that fear that keeps us inside, but really we want to get out, we stay active, create those exercise regimens every single day according to what your physical therapist, what your primary care physician recommends.
And of course, staying inside and staying isolated, you know, there's something that can cause, as far as dementia goes, or
back to the mentation.
You know, and so it all kind of works hand in hand.
Yeah, and that's why the age-friendly health system initiative is so brilliant, because those 4 M's are so interrelated. You know, the what matters. It's that shift away from, you know, we usually ask, well, what's the matter with you? Yeah. It's a shift towards what matters most to you, and how can we make your goals and values realized, and get you there. The medication is extremely relevant. We talk about polypharmacy a lot.
Right.
And that's when we're prescribed 4 or more medications. Highly risky for falls, and it makes it more likely for those mentation issues. So the mentation, 2 of the biggest risk factors for the mobility. So those 4 M's are all interrelated, and they can be a vicious cycle when we don't kind of stop it, and that's what this aims to do.
All right, so again, this is Tuesday, October 30th at Clubhouse 7 at 2:30 to about 4. Dr. Law will be there. Do people need to RSVP or just show up for this?
Just show up.
Okay, but on the screen, we do have the number of social services. So if you are ever in need of them, maybe you just want to stop down there and find out what they're all about. That's, I think, one of the best things to do, because then it gets in your mind that it's here on the first floor of the community center. You meet people, they're great people down there, like Dustin and all the others. And their number is 949-597-4267. Good to see you.
Thanks so much.
You take care. We'll be back.
Choice for wood flooring and more is LA Carpet.
Now during their 2-day sale, visit their showroom now and get 65% off wood flooring, laminate, and waterproof flooring.
Plus, get 5-year, 0% financing.
Carpet, #1 for you.
Welcome back. Well, today we have Erica Ritchie for the Globe headlines. Well, thank you for coming in, and congratulations. We heard you were able to do a first marathon in Chicago.
That's right. Thank you very much.
Good for you. And what did you say your time was?
My time was 4:09. I was hoping for under 4, but my foot injury is my excuse, I guess. And
yeah, but 4:09
still
is
happy.
Pretty darn good.
Still happy about it.
All right. So what do you got for us today?
Good morning, villagers. Happy Thursday. Well, the Golden Rain Foundation has named their 8 candidates.
Okay.
And they're going to be running for four vacancies on the GRF board. And the candidates are Bunny Carpenter, Walter Joseph Fitzicam, pardon me if I mispronounce any names, Egan Garth Hoffner, Ray Gross, Yvonne Horton, Joan Milliman, Gary Morrison, and Lenny Ross. And only the Mutual Board of Directors vote for the GRF directors, and there will be a candidate forum to meet all of these folks on October 18th at 10 a.m. And it's going to be at the boardroom, and they will also be on Village Television Channel 6. You can get some insights on the various candidates, what they stand for, and so forth. The ballots are going to be counted at 10 a.m. on Wednesday, November 13th, and that's going to be happening at the Community Center boardroom. And of course, we have a lot of information in the Globe this week for stories on the candidates and an opportunity for you to be able to meet them and see what you think.
Okay.
See who you like.
Exactly.
And then there's been some rumors circulating around the village about possibly the equestrian community or the moving to where, I actually don't know. Maybe to where the half pipe was going to go.
Oh, yeah, right. Just maybe, huh?
Or downsizing the golf course. These are all rumors.
Okay.
And so what it has been a discussion of the Alternative Revenue and Cost Sharing Task Force, which is a group of residents, I think about 120 residents, that have gotten together. They've been talking about various things since July, looking at things of where costs can be cut, et cetera.
I see.
And yeah, so those are just rumors. It's just kind of a discussion on that. And some of the other things that the task force has talked about is bingo, poker tournaments, and pet daycare services. So it's just kind of some ways to look at things. Can we cut costs here or there? What are some ideas? But the rumors of the move of the equestrian center or the downsize of the golf course are
really
in
just
fact
rumors.
Rumors.
Okay, so don't read into that, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Unless you see that printed in the Globe, it is not a fact.
Oh, so we have to always believe what's in the Globe.
Right. We've got to believe what's in the.
You've heard it here first.
We've got. That's right. That's right. We've got to believe what's in the Globe. And so then there's also going to be the delight of common interest developments such as Laguna Woods Village. California Governor Gavin Newsom signed Bill Senate Senate Bill 754 into law on Friday, October 11th, and that basically means that elections by acclamation, and it's going to give a lot of savings here to the village for the way that the elections are held. So that's good news for folks here who are worried about, again, spending money, cost,
sure.
et cetera. And the bill was first introduced in February, and they're guessing that it could save the village around $60,000.
Oh, good.
So that's good news. The Orange County Sheriff's Department is partnering with the City of Laguna Woods, and they are going to be holding a National Prescription Take Back Day, and that's going to be held on October the 26th. It goes from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So bring all of your old medications, expired, et cetera, things you don't need anymore, and you can bring them to the Laguna Woods City Hall, which is located at 24624 El Toro Road.
Okay.
Again, that's October 26th, 10 to 2 p.m. However, sharps, marijuana, and pressure canisters will not be accepted in this,
right.
so don't bring those.
Okay.
Don't know where you're supposed to put those, but I guess not there.
No, not there. Maybe they'll have answers when they get there.
Yeah, exactly. They might give them some direction. And then the Laguna Woods Village Social Services Department has partnered with Memorial Care Saddleback Medical Center, and it's going to bring Dr. David Law, who's going to present a fall prevention seminar. And that's going to be held on October 30th at Clubhouse 7 from 2:30 until 4 p.m. And Dr. Law is going to discuss some of the things that folks need to consider about falling, not falling, how to keep yourself moving and having better mobility. And then there's going to be a Q&A session afterwards as well. I mean, one of the things I know about, just kind of for mobility factors, and I think a lot of doctors are really advocating this now, is the idea of anti-inflammation in the body. I mean, the more you can reduce inflammation, with things like ginger tea and different herbal supplements, that's a good way. The less inflammation you have, the less it impacts everything in the body, including mobility and falling. So,
gotcha.
Just kind of a FYI.
All right.
I've learned that in my running research.
Oh, good. Well, that's great to know.
Yeah. And so then the third board approved a contract with Andre Landscaping Incorporated, and they're going to do turf aeration. Turf aeration. So basically that means for the villagers are going to see the grass mowed a lot more, and they do that in order to kind of get like some of that debris and kind of almost like the idea of sloughing off the dead cells on your skin.
Oh.
You just mow over the grass, mow it, and then that way it kind of aerates it, and they're able to put in some of the various, I guess, nutrients that they need to do to reinvigorate the turf. But I kind of see it as kind of like a skin rejuvenation, like a peel, so to speak, for the grass.
We're gonna have a grass peel. I love that. I knew you were going to throw something in there. We're just going to laugh about it. But it's a really great analogy.
Right?
It's a good analogy.
It's a good way to kind of understand how that goes.
Yes.
So, and then we had a full page of letters this week. We were very excited about that. We enjoy and love our letters. And the topics this week included maintenance, the good and the bad, bringing a rescue dog home, land use rumors, and this letter from Norma Benner. And this is what Norma writes. She says, "We residents in United Mutual owe a huge debt of gratitude to departing directors Gary Morrison and Maggie Blackwell. Their contributions have been enormous. At the last board meeting, Treasurer Gary's visuals clarifying financial expenditures made it easy for me and others to understand where assessments go." Again, very important. Tracking the money. Maggie's communications report pointed me and other residents to the village website to sign up to receive the Breeze eBlast Bravo. Thank you, Gary and Maggie. So that's nice.
Wonderful.
Public service, not everybody that is in public service is thanked.
Yep.
So, bravo for Gary and Maggie.
Good for them. And thank you for that letter. That's an awesome letter.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, thanks so much. That's awesome. And we look forward to next week's highlights.
That's right.
All right, thanks.
All right.
And remember, you can always get your copy of the Globe on the first floor of the Community Services Building at 8 a.m. on Thursday. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm John Bowser Bauman. You probably know me best as Bowser from Sha-Na-Na, but I'm also president of Social Security Works PAC. And you know, when I'm in Laguna Woods, I always watch Village Television. Grease for peace.
The movie for Friday is Dragnet, and that was from 1987, starring Dan Aykroyd, Tom Hanks, and Christopher Plummer, among others. It looks very funny, and that's a no-nonsense Los Angeles detective Sergeant Joe Friday, who's played by Dan Aykroyd, is partnered with the wisecracking Pep Streebek, Tom Hanks, a hip upstart cop, and the mismatched duo is ordered to investigate a strange series of ritual killings. Though Friday and Pep do their share of quarreling, they eventually trace the clues to an ominous cult, and the officers interrupt a violent ceremony. And as you can see, like you said, it's a tongue-in-cheek comedy, and they do a lot of funny, silly things. And that will be on Friday, October 18th, which is tomorrow.
Yes.
At 2 and 7 p.m.
All right.
And that was brought to you by Kaiser Permanente.
Yeah, and then on Monday is Rushmore, which came out 20 years ago, 1999. And this stars it's directed by Wes Anderson, and it stars Bill Murray, Olivia Williams, and Jason Schwartzman. And it's about he's going to, I guess for the lack of a better word, sort of a prep school. And where he's at, this is the son, meets a beautiful teacher, arrives at the school. She soon attracts the attention of an ambitious teenager named Max. This just come out in 1999, so things were different then, who quickly falls in love with her. Max turned to his father, who's played by Bill Murray, and his schoolmates for advice on how to woo the teacher. However, the situation soon gets complicated when Max's new friend becomes involved with her, setting the two pals up against one another in a war for her attention. So there we are.
Sounds fun.
Yes. It's funny, the other day, my daughter asked me about Wes Anderson, and I don't know why. It could be in her video class. They're studying some of his films. I really don't know. But she goes, Dad, who was that director? His last name is Anderson.
Oh,
and I'm
interesting.
going, yeah. So I
They
don't know.
must have brought up something.
I don't know.
Could be.
He's obviously done a lot of work.
Yeah.
All right, we want to remind folks that Supervisor Lisa Bartlett is having her Disaster Preparedness Expo. This is happening this Saturday, October 19th, from 9 a.m. to noon at the Norman P. Murray Community Center. You are all welcome, and they're going to have all kinds of stuff there to look at, and preparedness kits, and music and entertainment for everyone of all ages. So that will be the Norman P. Murray in Mission Viejo this Saturday from 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
All right.
Excellent.
The weather today was beginning to clear up a little bit if you're watching us in the morning. We have those thick morning clouds out there, and we'll probably be mostly sunny as we go through the day. Towards the end, it was really overcast this morning, and then mostly cloudy, and now it's going to be pretty darn nice. All right.
Excellent. It looks good.
All right, we're running out of time.
I know. Quickly,
Yeah.
tomorrow, United Mutual, Sterling Financial, City Council meeting, and Envision.
Yes.
Great. That'll be interesting. Have a great day in your village, and we'll see you.